M-Drive. MDriveStart.com. One scoop. Good stuff. All right, best for last. Every NFL game can be described, we believe, succinctly in just 3 words, and here you go. Minnesota, New Orleans, lights, Kamara, action. Alvin Kamara, first player in the NFL since Gale Sayers in the mid-'60s to have 6 touchdowns in a game. In fact, it ties the oldest single-game record in NFL history. Ernie Nevers back in 1929. I didn't see Ernie play. We don't have film of it. Congratulations to Alvin. Tampa Bay, Detroit. Admit you're wrong. You thought Brady was washed. I thought he would be Matt Ryan. He's way better. He's like Aaron Rodgers. First of all, in his last 4 quarters, 2 against the Falcons, 4 against the Lions, 6 TDs, no picks, and 680 yards passing. 13 years, Tampa Bay playoff drought. Brady arrives, made the playoffs. San Francisco, Arizona. Too much Kyler. Season high 50 pass attempts, season low 66 passer rating. They're simply asking too much of him. I also wonder for Kyler Murray, smaller body, taking a lot of hits in a great division, if he's not wearing down a little at the end of this year. Miami and the Raiders, still occasionally magical. Ryan Fitzmagic, game-winning drive, 19 seconds, even somebody pulling on his helmet. Listen, too much of a gunslinger in 2020 to be my franchise guy, but incredibly athletic, lets it rip, strong, never nervous in big spots. He feels he's like a little bit of an outdated relic, a gunslinger, like a less talented Brett Favre, but he can be magical. He has his moments, and he did against the Raiders. Giants, Baltimore, control their destiny. Ravens can clinch a playoff berth with a win against the Bengals, and I think they will. Say what you want. The Ravens are a top 10 defense, a top 10 coach, the number 1 rushing team, top 5 on third down, and Lamar has had a beautiful month. Baltimore simply too good, in my opinion, not to be a playoff team in any conference in any year. Colts, Steelers, 2 old heavyweights. Listen, Big Ben had 3 TDs and 340 passing yards, and it snapped a 5-game streak with an interception, at least 1. I thought this pass was the first time in about 7 weeks where Ben aired it out. I don't know if it was Red Bulls at half, but it was his best half of football against a pretty decent defense in Indianapolis. Good for the Steelers. Cleveland Jets, Baker botched it. Hey, I knew he threw 53 times, but he had 3 fumbles. He put it on the ground. I know he was missing a linebacker, receivers, offensive linemen. Welcome to Sam Darnold's reality. This offense is virtually perfect. Best, highest graded O-line, very dynamic receivers, 2 great backs, excellent tight ends. This weekend, they couldn't run. Offensive line production regressed, and Baker was very average. Atlanta, KC, ugliest win streak. 10 straight. The Chiefs remain the worst red zone defense in the NFL. Atlanta was 2 for 2 in the red zone. Red zone defense, 78% of the time, people score in the red zone on the Chiefs. That's the worst in the NFL. Chicago, Jacksonville, the Windy City. Meaning we never know which way the wind blows with the Bears. They're either awful or on fire. 4 straight games, 30-plus points. Has not happened in Chicago since the 60s. Cincinnati, Houston. Did not watch. Carolina, Washington. Carolina, Washington, down the Dwayne. Dwayne Haskins is done. He was bad. 37 passer rating. Lack of maturity. Biggest game of the year for Ron Rivera, and the kid couldn't step up. Feel bad. He looks the part. He's big. He's strong. He's got a rifle for an arm. Pretty accurate thrower, but maturity dooms him. It happens to a lot of young quarterbacks. Denver Chargers, not a lock. Folks, Drew Lock's career, 59% completion percentage, 77 passer rating. I'm Elway. I'm losing patience. Rams, Seahawks, just 2 drives. A 7-play 70-yarder, and then a 9-player at the end of the game. Russell Wilson, twice in the game, took it over. 2 great drives, all they needed. Philadelphia, Dallas, playoffs still possible. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Giants, combined with a Washington loss, and they're in the playoffs. How about that? And Green Bay, Tennessee, a statement win. Packers defense held Ryan Tannehill under 150 passing yards and Derrick Henry under 100 rushing yards. Packers had no penalties and no punts. Impressive. In bad weather at Lambeau. Looks like they'll be hosting their playoff ride. That's good stuff. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. For everybody here, we thank you so much during the holiday week. For Joy Taylor, I'm Colin Cowherd in L.A. See you tomorrow. Be safe. It's the Herd.
We'll see 35 million.
You know
They'd
what?
Love to.
Some good transportation. If you're paying $1,000 a month for your car, but it's great transportation, you live in bad weather, it's cheap. Like you can't put a price on transportation in a city with bad weather. You cannot put a price on a quarterback that can take a bad O-line and win a division. There is no price in the NFL on it.
So Alvin Kamara tied an NFL record, scoring 6 touchdowns in the Saints' 52-33 win over the Vikings on Christmas Day. He is the 4th player in history to score 6 touchdowns in a game. It hadn't been done since 1965. He also finished with 155 rushing yards, which is his season high, and the win clinched the NFC South for the Saints for the 4th straight season. Obviously, the Vikings defense is very depleted due to injury and did not play well. This was fun to watch, though. It was really impressive. And he had these really cool Christmas cleats on, which you can see in the video here. Very, very impressive performance by the Saints in a game that locked up the NFC South for them. I like the Saints before the season. I like the way that they're going into the playoffs.
I do. Listen, so now I got Taysom Hill for 12 to 15 plays. Kamara's healthy. Michael Thomas will. Drew Brees is healthy. And I think their defense is better than Tampa's, Green Bay's, and even though nobody wants to admit it, probably Seattle's. New Orleans, honestly,